What's happening? Andy here. I am joined by Stephen Cook and Ryan Skinner of Function 4 out in Houston. How are you guys?
Doing well, Andy. How are you?
I'm great.
Doing good.
Stephen, how's it going? Good to see you guys. What's happening? What's happening down there in Houston? Why don't we go back and forth between the two a little bit? Ryan, why don't you tell us what you do for Function 4? Maybe before that, just give us an overview, 30,000 foot. Who is Function 4? What do you guys do down there in Houston?
Sure. Yeah, we're headquartered out of Sugar Land, Texas. We have 7 locations across all of Texas, Southwest Louisiana, as well as dip into Oklahoma. We obviously sell hardware through Konica Minolta, Sharp, Xerox, as well as HP. We do managed network services and have a large platform of MPS across all of those servicing areas. And so we have 7 different locations. A lot of different variations across the board on our target customers. We handle customers that are across the whole entire United States that we service and support. And so we're excited to be here with you, Andy, and answer some of your questions.
Well, thanks. And Stephen, tell me, what do you do down there? What do you do for Function 4 and where are you?
I'm a branch sales manager based out of Angleton, Texas. We're about 45 minutes south of Houston, real close to the water. So obviously it's hot today.
Yeah, hot. Well, I'm in upstate Western New York actually, and we've got our first bit of rain in probably over 3 weeks. So we need it, but it's a little sloppy here. So whatever, I'll take it. It could be worse. It's not snow.
Good point.
Yeah. So I'm really glad I got you guys on here. We've been trying to get this together for a little bit, but you work with one of my clients, and you have just a really a good story down there. And I thought maybe it would be worth some time to chat about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're using them, and how you're using them. So let's just sort of jump right into it. Sales Chain is a CRM technology. They have tons of modules that add in, and they're used. Every dealer uses it different. It's built for the office equipment industry, but it's helpful in bids. It's helpful for laying out proposals. It's helpful for you guys as managers. So I guess my first question is Ryan. First off, how many sales reps do you guys have overall in those 7 locations?
Yeah, we're a little under 30 across all those locations. And so
30.
if you include all the people that are inside that actual program itself, you're well over 30 to 35 people that are working in that application all day long.
So 30, 35 people, they're working in it, and it's a sales tool for you, right? I mean, this is how your people operate. Every one of them has their own way of using it, I guess. And so tell me, how is it used? What does a typical sales rep use it for?
So we changed the mold. I mean, we've always used a CRM to just basically put what activities are, right? And if you're a sales rep, you think it's Big Brother watching over you. We changed the mold with it, right? We made it's an integral part of the process to turn in a deal, to price a deal, to get it advanced to purchasing, to get it advanced to delivery, all of those things. We changed the mold. So it is a working, breathing part of our organization, okay, that is not going away. So, that's how we process commissions. That's how we process delivery forms. That's how we process all of those things, functions through that application. So, whenever I say it is truly integral part of their day-to-day interaction, it's not necessarily a Big Brother watching over activities. That just is basically a byproduct of what we have it set up for.
So the way you describe it, it sounds like I sold, and we used, I don't know, dating myself, but it was Act 2 back then. And it was all independent of the network. Every rep had literally their own password. I mean, I think that thing died when I left, right?
Sure.
And yours is just, it sounds like this immersive workflow that's built into your system. I mean, it is your system. So they log in, they're writing proposals, yep. Their commissions are based on that. They're building machines with it.
Correct.
So Stephen, you're the longtime user here. Ryan is a newer user, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But you've been using it for quite a while, and you guys were acquired down there a few years ago. So tell me, when you joined the family, what was it about the software that you've been relying on for so long? What was it that made it something that you guys couldn't live without? And then how did that affect you when you brought it to Ryan as you were coming together and trying to integrate your companies?
Well, to go ahead and date myself, I think when I was cleaning out my desk the other day, I found my CD for ACT. So I've been on a few different CRMs. But to follow up with Ryan's point, that's what most people look at it as a big brother tool, or management's looking down on me, something to that effect. And really, what it is it's a tool for the rep if they really want to use it. And oh, by the way, it also helps the admin side of our business know what's going on with the deal. It helps the manager to see what's going on with the deal, not so that he can big brother, but so that maybe he might need to help. No, it's all in one. Like I said, I've been on multiple platforms, and they don't ever talk to your financial software, eAutomate, I guess. This one does. And so now you're streamlining your entire workflow for the entire company. So in the end, it's a tool. And if you're going to build a house, you might want to grab the right tool. Good
advice. Building the house, you definitely want the right tool. So when your reps are using this, it's how are they using it? We mentioned, is it part of the CRM? Is it, helping them make the phone calls, make the visits, giving them notes on that? Is it proposals? Is it used in the commissions process? I mean, you touched on all of those. It sounds like most of them it probably is. Beyond that, are there other things in prospecting tools? Like what's their day look like? When your rep comes in, what's the first time they sign on to Sales Chain? How does that work in their day, Stephen?
It has this exact same capabilities as all the CRMs. So all the different tasks, it'll when you log in, exactly what tasks are open, what needs attention to, reminders about competitor equipment, all of that is in there, right? It also puts out there reminders. It connects with Office 365 to where it's easy to schedule appointments, where there's not any redundancy where you have to go into Office 365, as well as Sales Chain. It pushes back and forth. It saves your emails back and forth with you and your targets or your prospects. And so, it really does all that aspect of a CRM. You still have it. It's the added stuff that really appealed to me, which is how can I have a rep, okay, if they get a call today from Andy that wants a, ABC, whatever widget, okay, how can I turn that around as fast as possible and be accurate information? And that's where they achieved the highest level that I've seen thus far. And to
follow up on what Ryan was saying, I had that very similar situation happen today. And customer called and needed a new widget, and actually they needed 4 new widgets, and within 12 minutes I had a comprehensive, complete quote where I knew what all the parts and accessories for those units were on there or on the proposal, and I knew what commission was going to look like, multiple price levels on the build. So if you're utilizing a different price level depending on the situation or the customer's need, as a rep, you know what you're doing and what you're getting, and it's within minutes. You've got it to the customer. And we all know that how fast you can take care of the customer, and whoever gets there first in this industry is generally going to help you give you at least a leg up on winning the bid.
And it's nice, I would imagine, as knowing what you're going to get paid and just having it be accurate. That's just, when you're a rep, that's one of the most annoying things I found was, there were just things that would happen. It would come up, and you'd always have to chase down admin and try to figure out, what happened. Yep. Why was I short? Usually I didn't get overpaid, but why was my check different than I thought it was going to be? So, Ryan, you mentioned when we were talking earlier that you guys were using something different. Doesn't matter what it was, but you were using something different, and you were supporting your whole organization when you brought Steven's group on a couple of years ago, right? So you weren't really looking to change the infrastructure in your entire organization, but you saw this tool, and what was it about it? It would have been much easier for you just to leave things alone and bring Steven on and say, you're using this because we're already using it. What was it that, really sparked it for you and pushed you forward on that? Because it couldn't have been easy to make a change like that across the board.
No, it wasn't, because we recently made a change. And so we all know what status quo is the biggest demon in the room, right? And so we really, it was tough for me to make that decision, but honestly, it was working with hand in hand with Steven as well as Sales Chain to make sure that everything that I'd heard, everything that I'd seen was going to take fruition over the next, couple of weeks building this out. This process was not a turn switch that we were just going to say, okay, everybody at function 4, now you're on Sales Chain. Believe me, I would have a mutiny and all my reps run out the door saying, we're now on a different CRM and roll of eyes. We took it very step by step. And what we lacked in the other CRM, which was, quite frankly, a quote building tool, a pricing tool, that's what we initially moved into, was just that. And then we added in the CRM functionality. Then we added in the, the workflow where they're kept in the loop on every single aspect of their deal when it's turned in. And so we built it out phase by phase. And really, I think that increased our adoption, and it also increased the reliability and the credibility, realistically, with the reps. So back to your question, I saw what it could accomplish and what BCOS was already doing. So the proof source was already there. It was just how do we now take that and mold that out to where the whole entire company can get a part of that, and what does that look like on the build out? And Sales Chain did a great job expressing that out and mapping that out.
Well, what was that like, that process? You've got all these reps, and then ongoing with new reps when people come in, or even refreshing, or when they add a module. What's the training like? How does that work with them? And how did you like it? I probably should ask you this before I asked you live, but what was your experience like with that part of it?
We're all about beta testing, and we do that with either products that we're bringing to our customers, or products that we're bringing to our internal customers, right? And so beta testing was very important. So our heavy power users, we threw them in there. Hey, what's working, what's not working? Help us develop this. And it really helped out with the buy-in of our power users, as well as educating them. And also having a subject matter expert like Steven on board was crucial through this whole entire process. And so what was important to me is the support from whatever CRM provider we were moving forward with. And so Sales Chain was great. They had weekly meetings for updates. This is what we've done. This is where we foresee an issue. Okay, let's try to resolve this as a partnership. All of those things were very important to me, and they surpassed expectations on the onboarding process. They did multiple trainings with the reps, and then we do additional, quarterly trainings with the reps on, if there's a new module that comes out, like you're saying, Andy, absolutely. We cover that bridge. We went through the workflow process as well to show them all the different aspects of that. And so over communicating on a new CRM, I found that's the best way to go about it, and so that set us up for success.
To follow up on Ryan's point, it's not just the support that they give you on the onboarding. It's also the support, the continuing support, because let's face it, things go wrong from time to time. And I'm in all the different facets of the business that we deal with and that we're in, and not just this, in my personal life, I've never had a support group be as responsive, caring, and proactive on it. And then, like Ryan said, with power users, I've worked with them a lot I've been dealing with Sales Chain for about 9 years now. And I've worked with them a lot, and I've been fortunate enough to beta test several of the modules before they come out. So that's been quite rewarding for me, because I get to. The unfortunate part is as Ryan said, having a subject matter expert, I got 30-something people on a daily basis giving me a call asking a question.
I bet you did. This has been awesome, you guys. I really appreciate it. as we wind down, Ryan, we'll start with you. Any advice you give some of your peer dealers out there, maybe looking at other things, or just any advice you could give them?
Yeah, I think it goes down to the vetting. If you're moving to a different CRM or anything like that, or a different, platform or whatever it may be, truly vetting that, right? And I feel like we did a great job this time. We've done a really poor job in the past, and so it's really vetting the partner that you're going to commit to for X amount of months or whatever it may be, X amount of years. And so and I can truly say SalesChain has exceeded our expectations on the partnership. And like Stephen was saying, even beta testing new things. I mean, they're encouraging us, bringing things to the table to say what works best, could be best practices if we change X. And so that availability to change a platform to make it easier for the dealerships, and their end users is excellent. And so it's very rare that you find that in, a CRM provider, or really kind of any of those providers. And so that's big and exciting to work with. And they're a phone call away. They do an excellent job on the support. And it's been great for us.
That's awesome. Steven, any advice from you on anyone who's looking at CRM companies right now?
Call SalesChain and write the check. I'm seriously, and I understand that was a little bit funny, but the bottom line is that if you really want to maximize your dollars and increase the amount of time that it takes to get things, or not decrease the amount of time that it takes to get a deal funded, start looking at SalesChain. If you want your reps to actually buy into it, because once they figure out that they can cut a quote while they're on the road from your mobile device, you can cut a quote and have it to the customer within minutes, and you may be able to get the deal closed before the competitor walks in the door. Write the check.
Wow, awesome!
If you really want to grow your business, I'll be honest with you. There was Ryan and a couple others. Whenever we came in the door, and some of the guys out of the Houston office, they looked at me and said, "How did you get all that done?" And I just smiled back and I said, "SalesChain. I had the right tool for the job. It allowed me more time to focus on other areas."
Well, I couldn't get a better review from someone out there than that. That's about as good as it gets. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It was great to talk to you. It's I hear from vendors all the time, and they'll tell me everybody says theirs is great, but when you actually hear it from people using it and the enthusiasm, I think that really resonates. So thank you guys so much for spending some time. I'm sure SalesChain will be very appreciative of some of the things that you said here today. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.